Record.
Hello, everyone. Our project's nanoparticle-based drug delivery for anxiety, and we are Team 7.
In the United States, anxiety is the most common mental disorder, which affects 40 million adults or 18.1% of US population. That's almost 1 in 5 adults. We all feel anxiety from time to time, but long-term anxiety disorder can lead to decreased physical and mental health. Several types of anxiety disorder include generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and social anxiety disorder.
In order to counteract the effects of anxiety, our device is an implant which responds to brain glutamate levels. It is a titanium reservoir and holds zinc oxide nanoparticles. These nanoparticles are released when a glassy electrode sensor detects glutamate levels over a threshold. A study published in Psychiatry Research Neuroimaging determined that average relative levels of glutamate of 2.03 indicate increased anxiety levels, although this would need to be further refined for an individualized approach to managing symptoms. Once the glutamate levels are detected, zinc oxide nanoparticles released from our device. Another study conducted on rats by the Indian Journal of Pharmacology determined that an intravenous injection of 5 milligrams per kilogram weight produced anxiolytic effects. This converted to human equivalent equals 0.76 milligrams of nanoparticle per kilogram body weight. In reality, this value will be lower as our device is already in the target location and avoids diffusion across a blood-brain barrier. Once the particles are released, they act to downregulate glutamate. This is because glutamate and zinc are co-released from presynaptic terminals. Increasing the amount of zinc, therefore, decreases the release of glutamate. Specifically, zinc downregulates glutamate by blocking N-methyl D-aspartate receptors. This results in anxiolytic effects by increasing the amount of GABA in the brain.
From looking at previous brain implants, we determined the ideal size of our implant to range between 10 to 20 millimeters in length, with a diameter of 0.75 millimeters. At this size, the implant can enter through narrow gaps and occupy minimal space without obstructing brain tissue. The narrow diameter of the implant also allows for ease of implantation and removal if required. The surface of the titanium implant needs to possess a mesoporous size distribution ranging from 2 to 50 nanometers in order to accommodate the varying size of the zinc oxide nanoparticles. As Lexi mentioned earlier, our current dosage can be adjusted for weight differences between patients. The device will be implemented specifically into the temporal lobe, more specifically into the amygdala. To set the implant into this location, a stereotactic brain surgery will be conducted. One of the biggest benefits to our solution is the fact that an internal brain implant bypasses the blood-brain barrier, which typically limits systemic drug delivery to the central nervous system. Being in this location also allows us to directly target certain regions within the brain, such as the one responsible for anxiety. Moving on to manufacturing, utilizing a green biosynthesis method, the production of zinc oxide nanoparticles can be cost-effective, environmentally friendly, and allows for large-scale production without impurities. For the titanium implant, however, this is not the same. To ensure ideal surface properties, the manufacturing is costly and time-consuming. However, it needs to be done in order to confirm biocompatibility. One thing to mention is that our device is definitely not the first option to treat anxiety. Brain surgery is a very invasive procedure associated with a lot of risks that should only be considered in severe cases of anxiety.
So some current competition for increasing the amount of GABA in the brain include the pharmaceutical drug benzodiazepines. However, drawbacks of this include that it's highly addictive. So daily use for 6 or more weeks will result in dependency for 4 in 10 users. Additionally, in the specific application of panic and anxiety attacks, which onset suddenly and last around 5 to 20 minutes, benzodiazepines will not begin acting until a minimum of 30 minutes has passed. So this is beyond the scope of when we would want it to begin acting. So our solution, because it is implanted directly into the brain, has the potential to influence GABA production without causing addiction, and also is more reliable to treat panic and anxiety attacks immediately as they occur. So a specific application could be in post-traumatic stress disorder. The brain circuitry here is similar to other anxiety disorders in that glutamate contributes to disorientation and that GABA has the potential to counteract the glutamate imbalance seen in PTSD. Typically, PTSD is treated with SRIs, serotonin reuptake inhibitors. However, it is not always effective.
One of the target patients we're looking at for this specific application is US veterans with PTSD. Having engaged in wartime combat and stuck in ongoing flight or fight response, veterans' brains are more likely to be rewired in a way that can cause a significant imbalance in their brain chemistry, making it difficult for them to reach a mental well-being without professional help. According to the US Department of Veterans Affairs, nearly 17 veterans die each day from. Other research has also shown that veterans with PTSD are more likely to perpetrate domestic violence and have higher divorce rate and substance abuse rate compared to veterans without PTSD. For this application, we can pitch and market our project to the US Department of Veterans Affairs. Like Cosette has mentioned, our solution could greatly benefit US veterans because its immediate effect on the brain during anxiety attack. As a result, our device aims to lower the severity and frequency of anxiety attacks in US veterans and hopefully improve their life quality. Thank you.